big challenge ahead of us this week. Really having a few days to dive into Florida State. They're still Florida State. I know their record is 4-3 right now, but they kind of got off to a slow start. New coach, new systems, new everything, and I think it took them a couple games to kind of figure out a little bit maybe who they are and get in stride a little bit. But really should probably have won the last 4 in a row. But they're 3-1 in their last 4 games, and really starting to play some good football. Offensively, Francois, he's a very good player. They've got great skill outside. 2 great running backs in Akers and Patrick. Patrick's like 235, but really good players. Francois is a good thrower. He's mobile. They, I think, have figured some things out up front in the offensive line as far as getting guys in the right place. I think that was an area for them early that they were trying to figure out. And really good tight end. We got a freshman receiver that I think is going to be a really special player, Terry. 6'4" guy, looks a lot like Justin Ross. So just, they're typical Florida State. Definitely the best ends we've seen. This defensive line they got really, really good. 99 leads the nation in sacks. He's long, fast, twitchy. They've got really good depth at defensive end and defensive tackle. They play them. Big, thick, physical, strong guys inside, fast and athletic at linebacker, and really good in secondary. Very skilled, very talented. They're one of the best in the country against the run. I think they're like 6th maybe in the country versus the rush. So again, their record is not same old Florida State right now, but their talent is. And I know this is my 10th year as the head coach, and I think I'm 1-9 against them in recruiting rankings. So I think the only time we've ever so-called recruited them is last year. And so that's it. They got a bunch of cats. They got a bunch of good football players on that roster. And again, really starting to get their stride. Left-footed punter, who's a good player. Dangerous returners. That little number 29 who plays the slot for them is also their punt returner. And I mean, he takes a lot of chances. He's one of the best, out there. Really good player. So, it's a dangerous football team that I think is kind of figuring out their identity and kind of buying into what Willie's trying to get them to do. And so we're going to have a huge challenge for sure. There's no doubt. But for us, it's kind of same old every week. Biggest game of the year. This is another game for us within our division that gives us a huge opportunity to try to stay in control of the division. That's really what it comes down to, and not put yourself at the mercy of something else happening. And so that's the focus of our team, is just having another great week of preparation, trying to build on the momentum that we've created. I think we've got a lot of confidence right now, but we've got a lot of improvement to do. There's so much that we can continue to do better, but I like the progress that I've seen. I like where we are. I think we're a team kind of like Florida State that's kind of figuring some things out as far as who we are and who can do what as we move through the first half of the season too. So excited about it. It's always a great place to go play a ball game, and it's a place we haven't had a ton of success at. So again, got a lot of respect for their program, the place we're going to be playing, and certainly their players. Very, very talented across the board.
Coach, Willie Taggart came to visit here, watch practice. I think it was the spring before last. What was it like getting to know him a little bit?
It was good. That's the first time I'd met him. Did not know him at all, really. I mean, I knew who he was, but I had never been around him and met him. Certainly had a good reputation. Done a great job at Western Kentucky, and then on down there to South Florida. And if you look at what he did at those programs, I mean, he kind of built them and got them going. I don't know that he had great starts at either place, but he built them and got it going, which is probably why he got the Oregon job. So it was right before his first season out there when he came through here. And then obviously I've had a chance to be around him a couple more times through our ACC meetings, but I think he'll do a great job, and he's a good fit and good man.
Do you see any influence from those conversations when you turn on the tape and things you guys maybe talked about that he's incorporated into his scheme offensively, defensively?
Not really schematically. You know, I think that they're very committed to who they are. I don't think that. I think his visit here was just a little bit more kind of program type stuff. I think schematically they're very convicted in what they do, and we're very different. I mean, we're very, very different in what we do. Offense. There's a few things that are similar, but different, more than similar.
Can you kind of, with Willie changing out, bringing in a whole new offensive philosophy, and that change happening with the dynamic of the previous team being recruited for Jimbo's style of offense, can you elaborate on how hard that is to come in year one and make that happen?
I think it's hard, and I think that's probably speaks to what happened in the first few games. Just trying to, you know, kind of everybody trying to figure it out. You know, it's one thing to go out there and have spring practice, another thing to go play. I mean, because they want to be tempo, kind of like Syracuse. I mean, really fast tempo, a lot of snaps, a million screens, zone read, a little bit of counter, some jet sweep stuff, multiple formations, a lot of bunch sets, and really, really wide splits. So they and then play fast and try to create space and one-on-ones. But I think, and obviously that's very different from who they were. So I just think it's, you know, taking them a little time to kind of hit their stride. And you know, the Virginia Tech game kind of got away from them early. Sanford came in there with a hot quarterback and a heck of a plan. I don't know what Sanford's record is, but I'll tell you what, I was impressed watching that bunch. That quarterback that they got in Sanford is a baller. He's a good player, but they kind of hit some big plays on them, but you know, Florida State ends up winning the game. They just kind of, you know, found their stride. Syracuse, you know, just got to their quarterback, and that was the biggest issue in that game. But I think the same thing, just those first few games, I think coaches and probably the players, everybody kind of figuring out, you know, who can do what and exactly what their identity was going to be. But they really settled in. And again, we're right there in position to win the Miami game. Led most of the game. So just a team that's 3-1 in their last 4, and that's really all that matters is this game. Records don't matter. If records matter, then Purdue doesn't beat 7-0 Ohio State, right? Records don't matter. You got to play the game. You know, I mean, heck, we lost to Syracuse last year, and they won 3 games, and we were undefeated. So that stuff, that doesn't have anything to do with the game that you're getting ready to play. That's why you have to prepare and respect every opponent and understand it. I mean, again, as I just said, if you don't think they got talent, then you're not paying attention. That's a bad assumption. So if the recruiting rankings mean anything, we're 1-9 against them in my 10 years. So they got plenty of talent.
Christian was saying yesterday this is the most fun he's had. What have you seen from him both on the field and his personality and that kind of stuff?
I just think, you know, he made a decision to come back, and he's been so intentional in everything. I just think he has truly enjoyed the entire journey, all of it. Mat drills. I mean, he had fun in mat drills. I just think he's been so committed to what he came back to do. He loves his teammates. You know, you don't make a decision. I mean, the guy graduated last December, so you don't make a decision like that unless you really, really love where you are and who you're with and what you do and all that stuff. So I just think that he knows that this is it. And he last year this time he was torn, you know, and it was, I think, heavy on him. Whereas now he knows this is it. And I just think he has really gone about it in a way where he's just enjoyed it. I mean, you go back to spring game, I mean, he's playing safe, just having a ball. You know, he has just had a blast. He's an unbelievable teammate. He's one of the best leaders I've ever been around. And just a dynamic personality, but a great football player. He's taken such great care of his body. We've been able to play a lot of guys. I think our guys are pretty healthy right now and fresh. I think that's a real key for us down the stretch, especially guys like Christian. You know, how they feel right now at this point in the season. But he's just enjoyed it all. I mean, just, you know, homecoming last Wednesday, going out and we're handing pizzas out at the floats, and I mean, he just I think loves the whole college experience and is just trying to really finish strong. He takes a lot of pride in his role as a leader, and he'll show up today and he'll be excited for Tuesday practice because that's just who he is and how he's wired.
What about his play on the field so far?
Been awesome. He's been great, disruptive, consistent. He's been a leader out there. He's been great.
To turn the tables a little bit, if you were an opposing coach and you were playing Clemson this week and you turn on the tape and were telling us, describing Clemson in a couple sentences on offense and defense, how would you describe?
Talented, play hard, team that finds different ways to win, you know, a group that looks like they have fun playing the game and they like each other. A team with good chemistry. That's what I would see. That's what I see when I watch this.
Coach, you touched on it. Christian told us yesterday this is the best he's felt physically at this time of the year. Dexter, of course, was playing hurt last year. How important has been the depth on the defensive line? Guys like Huggins and Pinckney. You've got Jordan Williams back now. How important is that for this second half of the season?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, we've got a lot of guys that we really believe in, and guys that, you know, can go win the game for us. So we're very confident, and it's big. I think our depth will prove very beneficial for us. And then some guy like the situation with Chase, for him to be able to get the experience that he's gotten now, especially the last 3 games. He's had a chance to play and do some good things, and his confidence is really high. So I just think we're in a good place. What all the backs have been able to do, everybody's kind of had their moments, and you know, it's what we've been able to do at receiver. And we had a lot of guys that have taken another step at receiver. And then you throw in Justin Ross as well. It's exciting. It's an exciting group. The emergence of DK, and you know, I think what we've done in special teams has really been good. But the depth up front in that D line has allowed us to keep, you know, Christian and Clee and Austin and Dexter really fresh. And when those guys are fresh and healthy going into Game 8, that's a good thing for the Tigers.
Coach Scott was saying yesterday that Brian Burns might be the most explosive guy he's seen since Clowney. Is that kind of where he is right now?
Well, I mean, I don't know about all of that. I can say I know he's the best we've seen at this point. I mean, he's fast and twitchy and long. He's not as big as Clowney. You know, I think Clowney was a heavier guy. This guy's. I mean, he's twitchy and athletic like that, but he's probably only about 230, so he's not as heavy, but he is disruptive and got great length. You know, he's giving everybody a problem, and all the ends, not just him. 11, 13, 90, 94, the other end. Got what's that kid's last name? Last name. AIM. Walvinsky, is that his name? Walvinsky. He's a good player. I mean, they got a bunch of them, but 99 he's pretty special.
Jeff said yesterday that he felt that Trevor changed protections 8 times on Saturday. Would you say that was probably one of the biggest areas of improvement you've seen from him?
I think just the management, just settling into just the flow of the game within the game. That's part of it. You know, just to where the game is slowed down enough to where you're recognizing things, and some of it is just his manipulation of the cadence. We were getting teed off on, a couple games ago where we just, I don't think he was just kind of going out there, hut, give me the ball, and guys were teeing off on our cadence and just not really, manipulating the defense to get some tips and things like that so that you can see some pressures earlier. And I just think he was more focused on the plays as opposed to all that. But it's just, again, he's a young player, but it's just kind of slowing down for him, and he did an awesome job. And he's just settling in, making plays with his legs. He's very confident. He's seen a bunch of looks now. First of all, he's seen a gajillion looks against our defense. I mean, our guys, it's unbelievable what we have to prepare for every day with our defense, with the looks that they give us, and then now with 7 games under his belt and all the things that he's seen, there's only so many things you can do. And so I just think he's not a freshman anymore. He's a more seasoned guy, and is a little more confident in command of what he's doing out there.
Is his, you think his internal clock is about where it needs to be in terms of the pass rush, or can he work on that a little bit, taking off and running or getting rid of the ball?
I think he's made a lot of progress. I think early on, he's very confident in his arm, obviously, and he sometimes wants to, teams are playing coverage and he wants to sit in the pocket and make the tight throw because he knows he can. But there's a clock, you can only block those guys so long. And then also he'll sit in there, and then sometimes he wants to slide left or right, and that gets him in trouble because that's where we're blocking a guy. And next thing you know, you get sacked. And so that's just him growing up and managing the pocket and recognizing coverage. And that's what he did the other day. I mean, they went 2-man on us, 3rd and 10, and he did an awesome job. I mean, that's just part of the game. Is him making plays with his legs, and that's what he did in the spring, a lot. And that's where I was really so impressed with him early in the spring. It was like, wow, this kid can run. But he wasn't as in command of what was going on, so he was running for his life in the spring. And now he's a lot more confident in what's going on, and so he's a little too patient in the pocket. And so, just extending some plays and getting some of those critical yards with his legs, when the coverage presents itself and the opportunity presents itself. I thought he did a really good job of that last week for sure.
Dabo, going back to roster management and depth, I was tracking the rest of the NCAA, and Alabama's playing 48, 50 players a game. You guys are playing upwards of 75 to 80 plus players a game over the last 4 or 5 games. Can you tell us how that will affect you further going along down the season, not just depth-wise, but in other areas?
Well, I mean, every year I think your roster's different, and for us, just so happens this year our roster is full of guys who we trust and who we know can go play and deserve to play. And so, I mean, I just believe that you play the guys that deserve to play, and this is the most veteran team that we've had. And then we've got a few dynamic freshmen, young guys that have emerged as well that deserve the opportunity to play. And so, I mean, we play them. I know we've got, I think, maybe the best running back in the country in ET. I mean, he's as good as there is. We're going to play them other guys. That helps him. And it helps, the competition and the investment and the morale of your team, all those things. You don't play guys to play guys. Everybody's got to be able to contribute to the win and help you win, and that's what I've seen. I mean, and then as you go through a season, the confidence that grows in your team, the selflessness that grows in your team, becomes very beneficial to you down the stretch. That's just what I believe. But I've also had teams where, we might have had some talent, but the drop-off was so big between the starter and the next guy, you weren't as free with how you sub some of those guys. But with this team, we just got a lot of guys that I don't really even pay any attention to. I know they're going to play, and they're going to play well. We got guys all over the field: safety, linebacker, D-line, offensive line, running backs, receivers, tight ends that we're very confident in, and so we play them. And coaches do a good job with that.